Hello YouTubers and fellow Star Citizens, I'm flying the Aurora. I'm already deep into a match here. Well, actually not that deep, I think I'm on wave 4 or 5 here. Flying the Aurora, so I thought I would give some of my thoughts and impressions. Now, a couple things to note, I am flying with a T16000M joystick, and I have it set up to the default mapping profile. That means roll on X-axis, yaw on Y, and I've already taken some damage here, but this helps illustrate some of the point. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the Aurora's flight model, and I got to looking at it kind of more in detail after reading some people's feedbacks on the forum and Reddit and other places, where some people have dubbed the Aurora as being a bucking Bronco when you hit the yaw. Now, I'm already taking some damage to my maneuvering thrusters, so it exacerbates that tendency. But I'm going to make the argument that the flight model of the Aurora is working just fine, but it's a pitch and roll fighter. It is not a... the 6 maneuvering thrusters and the positioning does not make it a pitch and yaw. It's a pitch and roll fighter. So that may be playing havoc with mouse and keyboard users, which is default pitch and yaw instead of pitch and roll. So that might be part of the issue. But if you fly it with a little bit of yaw... Oh, crap. That's not going to end well. Oh, that's not going to end well either. Unfortunately, talking and flying at the same time is not in my repertoire. But that's my first death, so we'll start out with a fresh Hornet here.
Enjoy the ride.
But yeah, this is a pitch and roll fighter. So we got a fresh, clean ship here. See, it rolls and pitches smoothly, and then you kind of get this lag, overcorrect and things. The so-called bucking Bronco effect.
Standby. Scanning. Which I
like that term. Now, some of the questions I have is, you know, are those 2 additional maneuvering thrusters on the LN really going to make it more of a pitch and yaw versus the MR? And the other thing I would like to point out is I don't think all the ships in Star Citizen should fly alike. I think there should be pitch and roll ships. There should be other ships that favor pitch and yaw. Because if every ship flies the same, it's just going to be very, very boring. So I encourage pilots to adjust their control schemes and also adjust your thinking and learn to fly your ship the way it's meant to be flown. If this particular type of flight style doesn't suit your fancy, then perhaps you need to look at pledging towards a different ship, or wait and see what's going to happen with the Aurora LM. Maybe you're in the wrong ship. Else, I encourage you to try out pitch and roll as opposed to pitch and yaw. It doesn't really bother me that much, although I know that I'm about to get into a collision here with one of my wingmen, and it's not going well. Or the Vandal. Some other observations about flying the Aurora. You just saw one of them there. The Aurora seems to bounce off navigational hazards quite effectively. If I had taken that hit in a 300i, I would have taken some serious damage, but no, the Aurora just kind of bounces off. That's something I've noticed. I don't know if that's a flaw or what exactly is going on there. This guy is hurting. So, try to line up a shot. The base weapons aren't horrible, but they do tend to run out of power very quickly, don't do a whole lot of damage. They are rapid firing. I would love to see what it's like whenever I to put a couple of the Omansky 6s on here, see what it's like versus the M3As. I haven't done that yet. Perhaps I should in my next bout. But I have a feeling that some of that's just going to turn out to be personal preferences on weapons. So I see neither here nor there. So again, you got to get used to the pitch and roll aspect. 2000, I'm way out of range. What are some other things? You have a single shield face. As you go up, like the 300i has aft and forward shields. And of course the Hornet has 4 directional shields, shield faces. So if you take damage anywhere, it's depleting the same shield, whereas on the 300i, if you're taking damage to your aft, you can try to turn around and then put weapons, have them shoot at your forward shield to compensate for that while your aft shield recharges. And then on the Hornet, you get 4 different shield segments in which to put towards the enemy, making it a little bit more tankier than, say, a 300A. I'm sorry, 300i. So that's how that works. And I've not really played around with different energy settings and things like that yet. I'm not even doing decouple mode right now. I'm just doing your basic IFCF, just because I'm trying to point out some things about the Hornet, or the Aurora. I will say of my favorite ships to fly right now, they are certainly the 300i is my favorite, and I'm now not regretting the 325A purchase as much as I may have been whenever I saw the last paper specs that was released at the beginning of May, or excuse me, toward the end of May, just before the Arena Commander dropped. I'm going to be interesting to see how it compares to the Avenger, because the Avenger may end up being very much like the Aurora, is in it's a pitch and roll fighter versus a pitch and yaw, which I think the 300 qualifies as. And frankly, I've not logged enough time in the Hornet to say one way or the other on it, other than I put 6 Armansky lasers on it and had a lot of fun. Now, I will say that just having 2 weapons does make the dogfight a little bit harder versus 3. A little bit longer time to kill. And then if you lose a weapon, you're seriously If you lose a laser gun, you are at a serious disadvantage. Vandal shields seem to regen faster if you take them down if you only have 1 laser. When in 3A. I'm tempted to buy an M4A, see what the differences really are, but I figure at this juncture it's really too early to do any of that outside of what taking guns off of ships I already own and putting them onto other ships for testing, because none of this is balanced out yet. Hopefully, when they do release multiplayer, we'll eventually get some way to earn some sort of temporary credits to buy additional lasers and stuff for Arena Commander and test them out, get a balanced perspective, and then they get taken away for Persistent Universe, which I'm fine.
Impact.
Now I'm going to go into turret mode here. I've killed my speed. Fortunately, nobody was shooting at me. You'll learn that if you try to do that, I think in the real world, you have your friend or the guy that you're shooting at has a friend or wingman. It's going to be a quick, easy way of getting yourself killed. Again, you got the bucking Bronco on yaw here. And I will use yaw to line up shots from time to time. Now I'm getting shot at. Both front and behind. Let's see if I can't get enough shots on him. Oh, what the hell? Like, that hit right there, that was probably a Vandal ramming attempt. It probably would have sliced off part of my 300i. Not so much on the Aurora. Aurora is surprisingly, can take a beating, much more than I thought. I thought it would be more like tissue paper. But it really isn't. Now, it's nowhere as sturdy as a Hornet, but I think it's sturdier than a 300i. And in certain directions, it's much harder to hit than you'd think. So anyway, those are kind of my initial thoughts and impressions on the Aurora. It's not my favorite ship, but it's not my least favorite. If this is the ship that you pledged for, and it's the only ship you pledged for, I would wait and see what the LN is going to be like if those 2 additional maneuvering thrusters kind of fix the yaw problem. You might want to spend the extra $10 and get the LN. Also for a little bit bigger power supply, as well as the 2 extra gun slots. I think the 2 extra gun slots are going to be a huge deal.
Target acquired. Down.
Do the missile cam. I'm not a huge fan of the missile cam, but every once in a while, it's fun to watch a ship go kaboom. So I wonder if they've overheated their guns or if they've run out of ammo. They're just now firing their Bulldog repeaters. And apparently they've fixed the Bulldog repeaters or changed them a little bit. So I need to try the Bulldog repeaters out again and see how well they work or don't work. At any rate, I will be doing videos for each one of the ships some point in the next couple of days, couple of weeks. And please leave me your feedback. Subscribe to my channel. I will also be doing further joystick and controller comparisons and configurations once we really get a little bit more flexibility than we have right now. I do have a working CH profile now, thanks to some people in the community. It's been posted to chhanger.com. So I'll be giving my thoughts of the CH HOTAS setup, pedals, throttle, and fighter stick here soon. And thanks for watching, and see you in the verse.